Boom.
Right on time.
See, I need to tell you something, Lawrence. You came on too late. I'm gonna see if I can tell you without telling you. Let me figure it out.
Tom DeMarco.
So we gonna see. Shout out to Adelina being the first member of the Afi Kingdom channel. Appreciate that, baby. I really do. I owe you a few hugs and a few kisses. I ain't gonna lie. Just want to let you know I appreciate you while the music is playing. What's going on, Trav? Yeah, when y'all slide through, like the video when you slide through. TMT on too. I was just on that one.
Shout out TMT.
Mm-hmm. Haters gonna suffer.
Yeah, this beat right here, saucy, man.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all like the video. We gonna start at 4 minutes. Y'all can do math.
Live, what up, what up? Motu.
As I'm uploading a fire review from WrestleMania 36. This is funny too. Actually, it's like a comedy drop because I watched it. I'm about to drop that shit right now. Oh, that's you, Sheep? You knew that? Did you know Hater was gonna suffer with Sheep? RPC, you knew that?
Did I know what?
Sheep is Haters gonna hate.
Nah, I ain't know that.
Yeah, that's Sheep on IG. What's going on? Come up here. Yeah, that's sheep and sheep clothing.
Oh, okay, yeah. What's his name on here? Haters Gonna Suffer.
Yeah, you knew that.
Yeah. Nah, I ain't know that, man. Shout out to you, Sheep and Wolf Clothing. I know Sheep, man. Peace, man. Word, man.
Yeah, you want to come on here? You can come on.
Yeah, man. He cool peoples, man.
I want to hear how. I like to hear how people sound and shit for the first time.
Yeah, word. Me too.
Saying.
It's a quarantine episode. That's what it is. A quarantine super friends.
Yeah, quarantine super friends. Matter of fact, fuck it. What's going on? You already know this is Afi Kingdom. This is Super Friends. Today we're going to talk about controlling emotions. I feel like men can't control their emotions, and people, period, man. Especially during this situation with things going on, man. People are panicking. They're not really showing masculine frame. They're kind of like showing like you're weak. Because at the end of the day, man, like I don't know. I'm just seeing cats doing some weird shit, saying some weird things, and doing some crazy things. What's up, Principal Bay? Shout out to Man Cave Vlogging Channel for the super chat. He said, "What's good, fellas? Salute to the panel. Appreciate you, bro."
Yo.
Yeah, appreciate.
Shout out Man Cave.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Principal Bay?
Appreciate you. You know, if you want to come say something too, he said, well, I want to see how Haters gonna hate. Believe what you talking about. Yeah, but got RPC, LDA, y'all check in, and oh yeah, and thank you, Adelina, for becoming a member. I don't know if I just said it already, but I appreciate that. You can join the channel, and the benefits are in there. You want support, then you can just join. You can join. Quit asking me for links. The link is on the channel. That's how you do it. Hey, Millie, what's up, baby?
Millie, saca fed. Yeah, man. Control your emotions. You know, that's what I be talking about, man. That's like the pillar of what I say a man is. You know, there's a difference between a man and a grown male. You know, like Coach Red Pill stated before, you know, a man is a grown man that can control his emotions set it aside and use logic and reason, to get to the best outcome. And in this day and time with this coronavirus and this quarantining, first of all, with the coronavirus, you got a lot of dudes not being able to control their emotions because they're real frantic. They're in their emotions as far as like the decisions that they're making, and as far as like controlling your emotions. The second part is, a lot of people are quarantined either with their kids or with their significant other, their female or whatever, and they all in their emotions. Like they're not accustomed to being around their family members that often, and again, they're making decisions based on off their emotions. Like I don't feel like doing this, or it's not what I'm used to. It's like, nah, man, you gotta. It is a term that's kind of gone away, but dudes have to learn how to man up again. Man up. I haven't heard too many people being able to say that. I don't know if that's politically incorrect nowadays, but now if there's ever been a time where dudes need to man up, now is the time during this quarantine and during this corona situation, man. Because this ain't even over yet. This is kind of still like the beginning of everything. We really just starting, and if dudes is already, what I'm saying, showing their panties already this early, then we got problems in the future, man. Control your emotions.
LDA.
What's going on? Excuse me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Peace, LDA.
What's going on, Red Pill? What's going on, Alfie? Yes, this is a prime example. Like you said, you pretty much took the words in my mouth. But this is a great opportunity to show the weak from the strong, the wheat from the tear, and to actually say men need to control their emotions. That means that doesn't mean that you don't acknowledge your emotions, but it means that you're not ran by your emotions. And I think guys need to really understand that they don't need to dismiss their emotions, but it means they know how to guide their emotions and they're not driven by them. When a man is driven by his emotions, he now becomes like a boat on the sea. He goes by every wind, every storm that comes his way. But when a man is not guided by his emotions, he's anchored in his and he's anchored at the bottom of his principles, his leadership, and where he's going, and he's not moved. So it's a great opportunity to show men that you do not deny your emotions, but you don't let them govern your emotions.
Exactly. I want to emphasize that right there, what LDA just said. When we say to control your emotions, that is not the same as saying to have no emotions. As a person, as a human being, you're supposed to have emotions. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're not supposed to have it, but what we're saying, I believe what we're saying is that when these emotions arise within you, you have the discipline to control it and not have it dictate your actions. For a simple example would be, let's say before all this happened, let's say somebody is on the job and they didn't like the way their quote unquote supervisor spoke to them, and because of their emotions towards this manager, they decide that they're going to quit the job that day. And it's like, yo, fam, you have no other form of income, no other stream of income. Why would you, as the saying go, why would you cut your nose to spite your face just because you don't like the manager? The manager's not the one who's paying your bills. You're the one who have to pay your bills. So that's not to say you need to stay at that job forever. You start making your plans to move on to another department or another job, but bottom line, you don't allow your emotions to dictate your actions and make you put yourself in a worse situation than when you were. So it's definitely, being a man is to have emotions, yes. But being a male or being a human is to have emotions. But being a man is being able to control them and not let them control you. Because last thing I'll say is one of the sayings that someone has told me that I ride with moving forward is that which angers you controls you. So think about that. If you constantly allow someone else to anger you, get you upset, or even get you into your emotions, just know you're allowing that person to control you.
Man Cave, if you got something to say, you welcome, bro. What up, Double Triple X?
So this is the greatest opportunity to, like Man Cave just said, this whole situation, pandemic that we're in, is revealing what's really inside of every individual man. Are you going to be driven by your emotions, by what you see on the outside, or are you going to be driven by your internal principles that you have from the inside? Knowing that this is the greatest opportunity for you to make money, to thrive, and to see a brighter future. But if you're going by the fear, what's being said on the media and everything else, you will go into a cave and actually internally die and maybe physically die because of you're driven by the emotion of fear.
100% facts. Hey, side note, in the chat I seen Ted Matrix. Let me see. Ted Matrix wrote,
Ted.
he said, shout out to Ted. He said, I got into it with my mom because of her behavior towards me, and I'm getting close to slapping her. Her tone of voice and acting like I'm the enemy and don't like me to have a voice. Well, let me help you out, Ted, because I think I've spoken about this before in other videos. You know, again, you know, salute to you for controlling your emotions and not slapping your moms or anything like that. You know, I definitely don't advocate that. But I think, you know, this is just me just, you know, speaking off the cuff. But I believe the reason why your mother's acting like that, and the reason why a lot of mothers act like that towards their sons, is because they really don't want their sons to become full-grown men, because they know once that happens, you know, she won't be able to keep them under her thumb per se. You know, he'll be able to, you know, have his own make up his own thoughts. Wouldn't necessarily need his mother. You know, so when she sees you able to have your own thoughts and go against what she taught you as a child, and you becoming a man, you know, and you know, being able to do what you want to do as opposed to, again, being under her thumb, you know, they buck up against that. And like I said in one of my recent videos, your mother is like one of the mega bosses you're gonna have to face in life before you get to that real manhood. Because I've said before, if you can't check your moms, and when I say check your mom, I don't mean slap or nothing like that. What I mean is when your mom's is wrong, you gotta be able to tell your mom, now you're wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys aren't able to say that because you know that's mom. She gonna yell at me or she gonna get upset. But yo, that's, you know what I mean, as a man, you know, if that's your mom, yeah, you can say it respectfully, but you gotta be able to check your moms, man. So she sees that you're, like I said, bucking up against her system or her programming. So just get used to that, man. Don't get upset at her. You know, that's part of the nature. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, just keep your head up. You also said you want to move out to the West. Maybe that's a good look for you too. I always advocate for people to move outside of their comfort zone.
But my thing is, I don't want him to move because he's trying to get away from his mother.
No.
I want him to move because that's what he needs to do. But also, too, your mother is also, like Red Pill said, is what he said, but she's also testing your manhood. And if you cannot pass your test of your mother, how can you pass the test of any woman who comes against you or say anything that's contrary to your principles? Because she's your first nurturer, but she's also your first test. And if you can't pass her test, how can you go to the next level and deal with a woman who you are intimate with and actually pass her test?
That's the truth. I mean, I don't know how true. Maybe you could touch on this real quick, LD. But how true do you think it is that men who seek a wife seek a woman who's similar to their mothers?
That's partially true and it's partially not true. It depends on the man and how evolved he is in his knowledge of who he is, and not only not who he is, but also understanding his mother. A lot of men have rose-colored glasses on when it comes to their mother. Their mother being this angel who came from heaven and just happened to birth her, not knowing that she was in the back seat with your father,
exactly,
to create you. So that means that doesn't mean that you treat your mother or look at her differently, but you take the rose-colored glasses off and you see her for who she really is. So yes, some men may want that, but the principle goes like this: you can never make love to your parent or to your mother. You only make it to someone who's who's not in that parental role to you. So, but a lot of guys have to take their rose-colored glasses off about their mothers. She can do no wrong. She's all of that. She was there for me when my dad left, and when this happened, when my dad was doing this. But they never see their side of their father and what he did. So there's always a problem there. So
we'll start at 4 minutes. Y'all can do math.
Okay.
Yeah. And he also later on wrote, he said, but she acts like she doesn't do nothing wrong. Hey, Ted, that's part of their nature, man. accountability isn't one of their biggest, you know what I mean, one of their biggest aspects. You know what I mean? So that's, don't ever expect, like, I'm gonna tell you like this, Ted, like me and my mom's got into it like years ago, just because, just off the cuff, I was just talking and joking. I was like, yeah, just like how you used to whip my ass when I was a kid. And she was like, yo, I never whipped your ass. And I looked at her like, yo, you kidding me, right? Like, no, stop lying about me. And I'm like, yo, you don't remember when he took a 4x4 and hit, what I'm saying, my big brother, because he had a part in his head and from a haircut. I would never do that. I was like, yo, right there in front of her, call my brother in a different state. Like, yo, you remember when mom did XYZ? He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, good looking. Am I gonna hide it on speaker? Boom, hung up the phone. She's like, no, you must have called them before we had this conversation. That's when I looked at her like, and mind you, this is before I really understood female nature like that. Because I looked at my mom at that moment like, yo, I think this woman is crazy. But now from understanding the nature, like it's hard for them to take accountability. They don't like being put or being seen in a bad light. So don't ever expect your mom. Even my mom's whooping my ass, she wasn't willing to admit, man. So just know that's just how it is, man. That's just part of the game.
K Zaggin, what's going on, bro? We got K Zaggin in the house.
Chilling.
Hey, Zag, what up?
Hey, gentlemen, what's going on with y'all?
What's going
Peace,
on,
man?
bro?
We here, man. We chilling.
So the topic is controlling your emotions.
All right.
So
That's definitely some grown man shit right there.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
What do you think about these people acting all emotional and not controlling their emotions, and what you think they should do, and how you feel about it?
Now, are you talking about what's going on with the world right now?
Yeah, all that. Yep.
Yo, man, look, I've been telling people that this shit that's going on right now it's gonna separate the men from the boys.
Yes, it is.
That it's as fucked up as it is, it's almost a perfect storm because all the shit that people been wanting to do, they've been putting off. Now they're realizing, damn, I better do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be getting multiple income streams or just doing certain things in your life, making sure you on point. Yo, because I heard this morning there's 10 million people out of work, yo.
Wow.
10 million out of work.
Wow.
And I heard that from I heard it from CBS and ABC. Now, how true it is, I don't know. But that's a lot of motherfucking people. Mm-hmm. And the people who were talking about it, they was like, everyone think that when this shit is over, that the economy is just gonna pick back up where it left off. No, it won't.
Nope, can't do that.
Shit will never be the same, man. It will never be the same.
That's what I've been telling people. That's exactly what I've been telling people. I was like, man, yo, you better if you think it's a problem now, like I said, this is just the beginning. I've been telling people it can never go back to being the same. Yep. Like, again, I'm not the money dude, but I'm just the logic dude. Again, putting emotions aside. And logic dictates to me, if you're taking the workers out of the jobs, you're shutting the jobs down, and then on top of that, so basically you have people not making money, you have people not being able to spend money, and you have businesses not able to make products or sell products for a period of time. It's like, wait, hold on. So when you open this back up, like, how are you gonna make it for all that time when, basically, the conveyor belt was stopped? How are you gonna make it for all that? You want to talk about $1 trillion back into the economy? Yeah, I hear all that, but still, though, like I'm hearing when it comes to mortgages or rent, they're giving people 3 months off. But the gray area is whether or not at the end of the 3 months, do they have to pay the 3 months altogether, or do they have to, or is those 3 months added at the end of the whatever agreement that they had? And I'm hearing that they got to pay the 3 months altogether. Now, if that's the case, that's bonkers.
Or the interest. The interest. So let's say you have a $1,300 mortgage, right? Let's say the principal balance of it is, well, the interest is always going to be higher in the beginning until you get close to paying it off. So let's say the interest part of it is $1,000, and the principal balance is $300. So let's say they give you a 3-month grace period. So now when you start to pay your mortgage again, let's say the interest is the whole amount of your fucking shit, and nothing goes to the principal balance. So your shit ain't going down when you start paying. Your shit going up.
Wow. See, but and people also, are not thinking about that part,
this
man.
This is what I think is gonna happen, bro. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you got it.
No, this is what I think is gonna happen. All the people that's losing their jobs, let's say they paying 15, 20 bucks an hour to the people that was there for 5, 10, 15 years, right? When they start to hire people back, everyone gonna start off at minimum wage. It's like if you get a new job at this place, and that's how the company's gonna make their money back. They're not gonna hire people at 15, 20 bucks an hour. You know, they're gonna hire people at 10, 11, 12 bucks an hour. So that's what's gonna happen, and it's gonna be fucked up. So if you don't have no real skills or nothing going on, where you can keep your job right now, or if you're an entrepreneur and you can make ends meet,
right?
If you're a true hustler and a grinder, you're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? But for everyone else that's living paycheck to paycheck and they barely surviving, scraping pennies together, oh bro, it's gonna be hard.
Right, man. And I even went as far as to say that, sports will not be the same anymore, because if people are afraid and people are talking about the social distancing stuff, how can you go back to 100,000 people in a stadium now? You know what I'm saying? Like, people are not thinking like that. And that goes back to, like I said, being a man, you got to be able to see ahead. You got to be able to look in the future. If you're talking all this right now, wearing a mask and 6 feet apart and all that, what would have to happen for you to be, for not you, but for society to say, okay, it's cool to go back to 100,000 in a stadium? And the only thing I could think of is mandatory vaccines. So that's the next thing. I mean, around the bend. I mean, that's, again, back to controlling your emotions. There's gonna be a lot of people out there like, yeah, just give it to me, whatever you got, just give it to me. And it's like, nah, bro, you thinking with your emotions, because you just want everything to get back to quote unquote normal again. But people, man, I'm here to tell you that's a wrap.
Okay,
it's a wrap.
And you said something very important, because everyone wants that feel good feeling. Can it get back to where it was before? And no, it can't. And as a man, you have to accept that. And as uncomfortable as it is, you just got to be like, look, life is about changes. Sometimes the changes is good. Sometimes the shit is negative. But it's all about evolving. And for us men, it's about, okay, they put a hurdle in front of us. They put a challenge in front of us. How can I defeat this challenge? You know what I'm saying? How can I get above this shit or get around this shit and still be me? Now, shit's still gonna be fucked up, but how can I persevere through this bullshit? You have a lot of dudes that can't persevere, bro. Them niggas is gonna fold.
They didn't prepare themselves. They were used to the hamster wheel. You know what I mean? That they were running in every day, and now it's a wake up call for a lot of people, man. A lot of people like waking up, at the same time, doing the same thing every day. Nah, man, now you home, man.
Not no more.
Dudes just got a lot of people is home now looking for an identity now, man, because they job wants their identity.
Oh, you said something very real, bro. You said staying at home looking for an identity, because everyone had an identity based on how shit was. Now that shit ain't the same. People running around like,
who am I?
Who am I really now? Who am I really?
Yo, the day they take away social media, it's gonna be a wrap. At least right now, people get their little attention with their little challenges and TikTok and all that. But take away social media, shit. Go ahead.
Oh, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if that shit comes, because what the government don't want is all of us putting our heads together trying to figure out. Look, let me say this, okay? And I'm not gonna get too lengthy with this shit, but this shit that's happening right now ain't by happenstance. This shit is deeper than just, oh, whoops, this shit just spread. No, bro, this shit is a weaponized strain. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
It's a weapon, and it's funny, when it first jumped off, I had people at my job talking about, oh, them Chinese motherfuckers are eating bats. I'm like, is that what y'all really think? No, this is what they said. I'm like, is that what y'all really think? I said, all right, let's say for the sake of argument that, they're eating bats, and they've been eating bats for centuries. I'm like, so the bat just got some shit. I'm like, if you think about bats and shit like that, normally they got rabies. So if you're going to get some shit from a goddamn bat, it's going to be that, right? So my thing is, I'm like, nah, it ain't that. It's a weaponized strain. I think the shit was planned. the shit got out of control. And I've been telling motherfuckers, I said, what happened was the shit mutated. And because if you think about it, when it first came out, they said, oh, well, only this type of person is impacted.
Right.
Then they said, well, this type, because the shit mutated and all the shit they had to fight it was like, shit wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? And the shit got out of control. That's
Just
what
like
I
movie.
think happened. So that's my personal view.
What's that shit? The Fly. Got out of control, man.
Talking about the 80s shit?
Yeah.
Holy
But-
shit.
Try to
Look.
control some shit. He got out of control. He didn't know what to do. This motherfucker flying around and shit now.
Well, look, there's a book by Dean Koontz. Y'all know who Dean Koontz is?
Yeah, I know a book you're talking about. I think I seen it.
Okay,
I didn't read it,
like
but I seen
Eyes
it.
of Darkness or some shit like that.
Yeah. Eyes of Darkness.
Where they mentioned the Wuhan virus.
Right.
Yeah, 1981 is when that book was written, and
I
they
guess that's
mentioned
just a
that shit
coincidence.
back then. You said what?
I guess that's just a coincidence.
Y'all cats read 1984? George Orwell?
Nah.
No.
You gotta read that one, man. They got a movie too. If y'all in the chat, have y'all heard of 1984 by George Orwell? Press
Now,
one if y'all heard of
I
that.
know who George Orwell is. Yeah, but the book I'm not familiar with.
It's the shit like now, man. I'm telling you. Watch when you see it.
Yeah, man. Controlling your emotions is important, man. Especially around this time because it's about to get a little crazier. You know what I mean, people
Yeah,
gonna be in
no
emotions
doubt.
where you know somebody could knock on your door now that we gotta wear masks. You know, somebody might knock on your door on some like for whatever services, and you might think this dude's trying to rob you. Now you step outside with the tool in your hand. You know what I'm saying? Now you done killed the man. I mean, because you're in your emotions thinking that this dude's trying to get you for whatever you have in your house.
Bro,
I mean, control your
it's
emotions,
motherfuckers at
everybody.
the grocery store fighting over toilet paper.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
fighting in the grocery store over toilet paper.
Come on, man. Come on, man. And,
Well,
go ahead.
No,
I was gonna say real quick.
Go ahead.
One of my favorite rap groups is Mobb Deep. They had that song "Survival of the
shit.
Fittest" in
Yes,
1995.
sir. Yes, sir.
That's where we at right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Only the strong survive.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
it. That's it. And it's about to be like that, unfortunately.
And,
But it's
and
about
to
to be
me,
like that.
and to me, it kind of shows because you could kind of tell that the dudes walking around, at least for me in New York, you could kind of tell the dudes who's walking around like, this shit is some bullshit, man. I'm not saying there's nobody dying. I'm not saying there's no disease, but this dude's. Let me say that differently. This dude's walking around like, there's something going on here, more than what they're telling us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you can see the other dudes walking around in straight fear, for lack of a better term, man. And it's like, damn, bro, like, why you walking around like this, man? Like, I don't know, like 2 masks on with the hoodie on with the. It's like, yo, bro, come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that. Look, it's one thing to be aware and just to be, smart enough to be aware, but it's another thing when you panic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And motherfuckers out here panicking. And my thing is this: all of us got our expiration date. Okay, I don't give a fuck if it's a car accident, a bus accident, you trip and fall and bust your head on a brick. Whatever day you're supposed to die on, you're gonna die on that day of whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So my thing is this, God already said, hey, you're gonna die of this. I don't know when it's gonna be, whether it's gonna be tomorrow, 100 days from now, 10 years, 20 years, I don't know. I'm just gonna do all I can to enjoy my shit between now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But you got motherfuckers running around here scared, and it's like, come on, man. It's serious, but it ain't that serious.
Right. Because once I did the math and realized, it was around like 3% mortality rate, I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I understand things is going on, but like you mentioned, like I'm at a point, like I was telling somebody the other day, I got to a point where I don't fear death, and that's not to say I'm about to go jump off a building, but I'm gonna live my life until that time comes, and I'm not gonna be foolish during that time, but I refuse to live in fear, man. How can you live in fear? What does that do for you?
Well, that if you live in fear, can you truly live life? Can you truly enjoy life if you're living in fear? No, you can't, because you're always trying to protect yourself from something happening. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And my thing
and you're kind of attracting it too. If you're constantly thinking about what you fear, you actually attract it to yourself.
There you go. There you go. You do more harm than good worrying about the shit.
But fact.
You know what I'm saying? Than just living your life freely.
Nope. A lot of
So,
people
what's
caught
up,
in their
Ozzy?
emotions, man.
Nothing. I'm doing some shit real quick. I'm here. You know, y'all flowing and shit. I'm right here.
All right.
I'm soaking up game too. You know.
All right. That's real. That's what I'm talking about. So, LD, are you there, man? That nigga. Anyway, yo, no, but yeah, man, it's a lot of dudes, you know, caught up in their emotions.
He showed you.
Yo, what's up? What's up, brother?
Peter
What's
first.
up, brother? How you doing? All right.
Yeah, there you go. Have to check in real quick.
That's my nigga right there. What's that? Hold on.
The
Oh,
power of the
there we
subconscious
go.
mind.
There
Okay.
we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's
Good
that's
reading
what I'm
right
talking
there.
about. That's what I'm. Yeah.
See,
for
that's
sure.
the thing with emotions. If you're not careful, it clouds your decisions on what you're going to do or where you're going to be at. So any guy who's been listening to any of our content and any of the people talking here, you know, prior to this, all this taking place, we all have been talking about being a man, being structured, doing this a certain way. When you deal with women, as I said on my show, game is not mitigated just to women. Game is mitigated. Game is for life. But one of the things when you deal with a woman, you have to be not in your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing with this whole situation that's going on. You have to not be driven by your emotions. If not, someone's going to be bent over, either you or them.
Mm-hmm. A lot of opposites.
Right. So it's so important that right now that men not get into their emotions right now. Now you need to, if you do feel a certain way, you need to really acknowledge that. This is one of the things I don't want men to do, because I'm saying from personal experience, when I did not acknowledge my emotions or I felt a certain way, I wrote it down in the book and said, okay, it's in this book and that's it. Then I said, you know what? I had this moment. I got to go. I got to get on my grind. It's time to be focused. I'm going to accomplish. I'm constantly repeat this. This is the greatest opportunity for any man, like you guys have said, to make millions of dollars during this time. In any depression or any recession, there are going to be people going to be either poor, and there are going to be people who are going to make millions of dollars. You got to decide what side you're going to be on. Either you're going to be on the side that you're going to accomplish more. You're going to buy an island. This is a good opportunity to buy an island because it's going to be dirt cheap. It's a great opportunity to get things done. But if you focus just on the media and what it's saying, I'm not saying that you shouldn't hear what's going on. It would drown you and would take you under, and you will be in your home, sleeping underneath your bed, paralyzed by fear. And I don't want any man that's listening to this to be like that. So you got 4 gentlemen talking about the importance of not allowing your emotions to control you. If you know anything about game, I'm repeating it again. You can't deal with a woman driven by your emotions. If not, she's going to get you. It's the same thing. The world can be equated as the woman. You got to know how to dance with her, or she will dance with you. And so I think that's the thing right there. You got to take time out and say, okay. Then 2, I think a lot of people need to take a detox from everything that's going on, because it can be stressful. You can worry. You can begin to fear. And once you begin to detox from it and get your bearings and know and set your feet grounded in what you're going to do in your purpose, and put your head to the grind and say, this is what I'm going to do, you will ride this storm out and actually be further than you were prior to this even happening, because it's going to bring out either the best in you or it's going to show the worst in you.
Survival of the fittest.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, the fact that he brought up the book, the subconscious mind, people have to realize that your emotions, a lot of that does come from your subconscious mind, and you can't fix something that you never addressed. So people have, may have even childhood traumas that they never even addressed, man, which is, attributing to their emotional action. So during this quarantine time, man, I was just giving a consultation this morning, and I was telling my man's during this quarantine time, you need to look in the mirror and start even talking to yourself. Start getting to know yourself. Start getting, start addressing your traumas so that you can move forward. because people don't know themselves because a lot of times they like to try to forget things or they try to act like things never happened. But I feel that you need to face things, at least as a man, face things head on. You know what I'm saying? Face to face, learn from the lesson, and then then and only then can you move on. You know what I'm saying, to the next level and the different levels that we have as a man. But go ahead, K-Zag.
No, I was gonna say, like, earlier today, like, my woman, she was watching that coronavirus shit like all day, like for hours. She had the fucking news on, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, "You gonna watch that shit all day?" And she's like, "Yeah, I want to see what's going on." I'm like, "So you gonna watch that shit all day and have them put you in a panic?" You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be everything that you hearing, you get more and more scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop watching that shit. Like, we already know what's going on. There's really nothing new they can say. You know what I'm saying? We know motherfuckers are getting sick and dying. I mean, that's what we know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So unless they announce that, hey, we got a cure, go over here, get vaccinated, you'll live in no problem. Unless they announce that shit, all they're announcing is drama. That's what news do. Drama. All the toilet paper is gone. People fighting in the stores. They announcing drama. I'm like, that's female shit. A man is like, look, I ain't got time for all that bullshit. Like, look, we're looking for solutions. We ain't looking to cower in a corner and be like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Oh, I'm scared. No. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was pissing me off. Like, turn that shit off. Like, look, we're gonna ride this shit out. You know, we're gonna make the shit work. We gonna do what we gotta do to make sure that we come out on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Still fucking breathing. Because look, real quick, on her side, like her stepsister, she lost her father and the godfather to her son in the same week.
Damn.
In Flint, Michigan, right? So just to hammer home how real it is over there, but at the same time, we still got to keep a G over here. So her sister, not only did she lose her father and the godfather to her son, but the wife that the wife that had the husband that was the godfather of her son, she lost him and her son. So she, in 1 week, she went from she was a mother and a goddamn wife. And then she lost her only child and her husband within a week of each other. You know what I'm saying? Dude, 20 years old, husband 50 years old, whole family wiped out in Flint. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, look, these motherfuckers in Flint is feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not from Michigan. You know, my woman's from Detroit, but she got mad peoples in Michigan. And all the motherfuckers, all the church elders, all the motherfuckers got the coronavirus. Like, all of them. You know what I'm saying? Because they had this convention, right? And all of them got it. And I was like, because she was telling me how they were trying to do gentrification in Flint, right? And I'm like, so don't nobody think that shit is weird? That they trying to gentrify Flint, then all the church leaders get that shit? I'm just saying.
Another coincidence. I'm
just saying. And multiple people died, you know what I'm saying, already. So I'm like, so y'all don't see what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm not going to speak no more on that. I'm just going to say, if you want to clear a city out, get rid of all the leaders first. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Of course.
Man, K, what's going on, bro? Controlling your emotions. What you got to say, brother?
Man, nothing much. Just at work, but I just want, you know, put my piece on and respond to what everyone else is saying.
All right.
Yeah, you know, RPC's right. You know, like, yeah, a lot of this stuff has been like predetermined, and LDA is also right because you have to always, as a man, you have to be grounded. But this is showing that a lot of guys, since they're home, they're not as grounded. You get what I'm saying? And I read the other day, like, the divorce rates have went up. So, and a lot of people just reacting. They're not actually thinking. You know, it's not even about the emotions. It's more about the fact that dudes are just reacting without even putting any thought into whatever. And then the emotions amplifies that. So a lot of guys is just, so what they do is, I gotta get like 3 face masks and they just reacting. You
Yep.
get what I'm saying? And then you know, they're watching the news all day. I had a homegirl. She told me the other day, like her mom was watching news like from sunrise to damn near sunset, and she was like, "Yo, like, why are you watching news so much?" And she's like, "I gotta know what's going on." It's like, dog. The only time I watch the news, unless like there's a press conference. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like you know, in Boston, you know, we have a mayor that he gives like an update every single day at different times. So I might watch that because that affects my life, but
Right.
I'm not going to be watching coronavirus news updates 24/7. You get what I'm saying? Like it's just pointless. So, and a lot of guys, like you was mentioning RPC as far as trauma and stuff like that,
Mhm.
like a lot of guys they've been on the go so much to where now they're gonna have to sit back at home and just face everything that they did. It's just now a time for reflection.
Yep. Yep. And they don't like what they seen, man.
Yeah,
Round
they
this
don't.
bitch. Round this bitch.
What's good? What's good?
Oh, round this bitches, round this bitch. What up? What up?
Not much, man. Just cooling, man. Just chilling, reflecting, and I think this is
How
a
you doing
wonderful
during this
time to,
quarantine and yeah, how you doing this quarantine corona joint, man?
just doing a lot of self-reflecting and thinking and strategizing. And of course, I've been training outside, working out, at a park on a track, taking it back to the grassroots, to the push-ups and sit-ups, making
Got you.
sure I'm
Trying to
getting my
say.
miles in, maintaining physical conditioning, and maintaining my diet and taking all my vitamins and minerals. And one thing I want to share with everybody, some knowledge that I've learned from healthcare professionals in relation to the coronavirus is make sure that you are taking zinc. They say the virus does not respond well to zinc,
Mhm.
and zinc keeps the virus from replicating. So a lot of people naturally have zinc deficiencies in their bodies. So that is critical. And so, that's just some information as well. And make sure you stay hydrated and make sure you're getting the appropriate hours of sleep.
I agree 100%. Let me just say this about sleep. One of the things that I learned in med school was that was kind of fascinating to me was that I learned that during REM sleep, that's the time when you're supposedly dreaming. That's when your immune system is at working at its, at its peak, what I'm saying, at its optimal efficiency. So think about that. If you're not even, because some people be like, yeah, I got like 2-3 hours sleep last night. Like that's not really sleep. That's really rest. You know what I'm saying? Sleep is, what I mean, like you for lack of a better term, you dead to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you in that again REM sleep. So sleep is very very important because that's the time. It's kind of like the way I remember it. It's like that's like your immune system becomes like your sanitation department of your body. It goes through all the creeps and crevices of your body, cleans it up. You know what I mean? That's why you wake up with like coal in your eyes and phlegm in your throat. And you know what I mean? Because that's what your immune system, what I'm saying, collected while you were sleeping. I mean, all the bad stuff that it needs you to cough up and, what I'm saying, tear out and all that. So I emphasize sleep. Good sleep is very, very important, man. So definitely put that into everybody's regimen.
To also add on to what you're saying, sleep is so important in so many different ways. Improves mood. It also helps you lose weight. A lot of people, they might have a strong diet regimen, but they can't lose weight because they're just not getting enough sleep. You feel me? So sleep also helps you lose weight because sleep, in the deeper sense, like you were saying, as far as cleaning your immune system, it's a natural detoxifier. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
So by you getting enough sleep, you're able to just naturally lose weight. Like I noticed this, like I noticed like I could literally change my diet, but when I noticed like the weight like really like balancing itself out is when I got enough sleep. Like me personally, I don't need anything past like 5 hours. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm good off of 5 hours. I don't need 8 hours. But for someone else, they might need 8. So they definitely need to implement that 7 or 8 hour regimen into their lifestyle.
Exactly. And one thing as well. Sleep and rest is an important part of muscle development.
Yep.
That's people that out there that know me personally that are listening, working out, and I'm about maybe 6'1", 230 pounds. Pretty good shape, ex-ball player. But the secret to the physique and physical fitness and training and putting the resistance and stress and tension on your muscles when you're breaking them down, along with the protein and the diet and the calorie intake and the fluid intake as well with drinking water. You have to get that sleep because your sleep helps your cells regrow. Because when you're working
Yep.
out and you're doing resistance training, you're breaking your body down. So the rest that you get at night is helping your cells rejuvenate themselves and trigger the muscle growth.
Yep. 100% fact, man. We got Dr. Moto Power over here, man.
But you know what? I'm glad you guys are talking about this because a lot of times on men's channels, we don't go dive into making sure that our bodies, you get enough sleep. We're always talking about game and how that we can bear some woman. But to hear this side of it, I think this is a mature conversation because men need to hear the holistic side, mentally, spiritually, and physically, how to maintain even in this time of really excellent of change. So I'm really enjoying just listening to the conversation, but I think it's a conversation that needs to be had because if we don't talk about it, we may talk about just one side, but we may forget the soul part, or we might forget the physical part, or we might forget the spiritual part. So it's imperative that we have conversations like this.
Hey, I just thought of it just now. They said, or we know that people, sometimes get their prophecies during their dreams. And if you're not getting your rest, you're not even able to, get the messages that need to be sent to you. Because we're living in a generation where they say, I'll sleep when I die. It's like, what? It's like, yo, bro, you gotta rest. Like, that's how you recharge. That's how you wake up with a fresh mind. Like, I remember being in college where I could smoke, drink, and do whatever that whole night. But once I get that night's rest, I wake up good. I'm not the type of dude that's where my days carry over. You know what I mean? So I always knew ever since I was young that sleep and not just rest, but good sleep, that REM sleep is good to recover your body and especially more importantly your mind, man.
It's interesting. My mentor used to say, when you go to sleep, God sends your email to you about your life.
See? It's the fact. I agree.
Quite interesting. Wow, this is really turned, man. I like the way this is turned because in all of this, you're learning how to control your emotions because even in your sleep, you could be fighting what you've been digesting all day. So it's important that you detox, like you said, detox your body, but you also need to detox yourself mentally from all the worry, the concerns, and everything. What I do personally, and this is what I do, is I ground myself. I said I release every situation, problem, and concern of the day. So I say that a couple of times before I go to bed. And what happens is that clears me up so I don't carry that into my sleep. So I start dreaming about the coronavirus is knocking at my door. Something like that. So I take that and I release everything from the day, people's concerns, arguments, things that you don't even know that you're picking up, that your subconscious is picking up just by being in this atmosphere of people being fearful or going to the grocery store. You may be picking up that energy and don't even know it. So I make sure I detox every day and say I release everything, person, situation, problem, concern, and I let it go. So I do not carry it into my sleep state.
Well, LDA said something very important because what you dream about is basically is your subconscious taking your conscious mind and facilitating it in your dream state. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And people don't understand how powerful that shit is. That's why when my woman was watching all that shit all day long, I'm like, you're gonna have nightmares about this shit because you're watching it all day. And it's gonna play in your mind, and you're gonna hear about all the negative shit, all the deaths, all the kids dying, all the old people dying, all these people dying, and then in your mind, it's gonna manifest itself, and you're gonna have dreams about your people's dying. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, Red Pill was talking about, just having that that strong mind state as far as not being too emotional. And that's where a dude with a strong mind come in at, because you're dependent, or people are dependent upon you to be that strong individual to carry them through these rough times. Because you got a lot of people that they can't help themselves. You know what I'm saying? With worrying and concern. That's all I got on that.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
yo.
one thing that's also important to sleep, and reaching that subconscious mind is meditation. You can get to a certain heightened state of meditation, and really the power of it is really mind-boggling. I'm sure each and every last one of the gentlemen on the panel are familiar with the 7 chakras
Yes,
that
sir.
we have. And just
Sure.
tapping into those. You see LDA, he was just demonstrating he started at the top right there with the pineal gland, and he worked his way on that the root. The chakras are very powerful,
Hold
and
on.
a lot of people
The
have blocked
crown first.
the
Crown.
crown.
Then
Crown
the
chakra is the top, but you start from the bottom actually.
yeah. Well, the
Start from
crown.
the root chakra.
Then what was this one?
The pineal gland, the third eye. Then that's the throat chakra. I used to have actually the chakra stones.
Right. Then this one.
And
Then
that's
what?
the solar plexus right there, the mid section.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
solar plexus.
And
Then
you
the
have a
next one.
sacral chakra as well, too, though, in the groin
low-
area. A lot of
Right.
people have blockage in their chakras. And so just meditating and tapping into that higher frequency and higher consciousness of yourself can allow you to control your emotions. And many of you have to realize that you've been through different trials and tribulations in your life. You still here, you still standing. So the test of what's going on with the coronavirus is just a test, and we will eventually get through this and overcome. And I don't know what is the origin of it. There are many conspiracies and theories that one can assume and presume to be reasonably factual because of people could say it's depopulation. It could be to um, destabilize and put the
Yep.
economy into a recession, standstill,
Yes, sir.
to reset things economically. And
All
I
of the
can
above.
definitely go kind of deeper in that as we go on. But it's critical to control your economic, to control your mind state and to control that.
Let me.
But
So
in a
let me.
little
So
bit, I
let's
would
just say
like to
something.
kind
Go ahead.
of further elaborate my theory that it was planned just upon the economics perspective. Because one thing about it, the markets indicate and predict everything. And if you follow the money, it'll lead you in the right direction because it gives you certain indications and clues. I'll start this summer. I'm sure this past summer, each and every last one of you probably watched the news and heard a lot about the yield curve inverting. Basically, in the bonds market, when bond prices rise, bond yields fall. So when high bond yields um, fall lower than lower bond yields, say you have a 10-year bond yield that falls lower than the 3-year bond yield, it creates an inversion. And this happened last summer, about June, July. And historically speaking, whenever you have an inversion of a yield curve, a recession is coming within a year to 2 years. So this happened in July. Then the Federal Reserve Bank, July 30th, actually cut interest rates for the first time and began the quantitative easing cycle, where they began printing money and inflating and pumping and pumping and pumping the market. And one thing that the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell spoke about was a mid-cycle adjustment in 2020. So there were several different traders and investors that were talking about, like, what is Jerome Powell stating? What is he stating? What is he trying to say? What is he trying to? Is he trying to warn the people? So several theses were out. Some say maybe is it a war? Is it something? Is it a war? Was it Brexit? Great Britain leaving the European Union. So this was all in the works and this was all in the plans. And on a previous show, I talked about how the markets work with standard deviations and how if you have the markets uh, pricing in a certain cycle, a certain price range, if they fall into a one standard deviation price range, it is efficient. So when the Federal Reserve Bank cut interest rates back in July for the first time in years, the last year, the market was efficient, statistically efficient in falling into a one standard deviation expected move and breaking all time high after all time high after all time high after all time high. So you saw
Mm-hmm.
this efficiency. Then back, say, early January, the market became statistically inefficient and it broke outside of that one standard deviation range. And historically speaking, that is a clue that volatility is about to happen and the top is in. And during that time period, you had congressmen selling liquidating their assets and their stock portfolios because they
Mm,
received a briefing that this was going to happen.
mm.
So the macroeconomics kind of were a leading indicator that something was going to happen. I didn't know exactly what it was that was going to happen, but
But
the
you saw the
clue
storm,
was there that something was going to happen, and I could see it clearly
and
in
here we
clear
are.
day. Because when you
Now,
can
now
see the
you.
funds market, when you see all these currencies and the assets repositioning themselves, the big money is leaving out the market because they knew exactly that this was going to happen. Even high government officials that were caught insider trading because they had insider information that
Hmm.
the market was going to sell off, they knew exactly that this was going to happen in itself. And it happened. So
So,
the coronavirus was just an excuse and a catalyst for them to reset the economy because economic expansion cannot last forever. We have to go into recessionary periods. And people say, why does it have to be like that? The powers that be that control this world, that's the system that they've designed. That's how the rich get richer.
that's a fact. Hey, Motor Power. So I got a question for you because I said this earlier. I said, I'm not the money dude, so I don't understand how, with workers being sent home, businesses being asked to, shut down, sports being shut down, how the economy can recover, for this going on for such a long period of time if there's no money flowing through the system.
Really, the thing is, this is how it works. We were in the expansion phase for about 3 years, 3 to 4 years. This was before the coronavirus catalyst. Um, the United States had the longest period of time that was the longest period in American history that there wasn't a recession. So they had
Mm,
to give a reason to slow things down, to reset, because that
mm,
money has to flow. When you slow it down, and right now, this is astronomical. You have last week, there were reportedly over 10 million people that have filed for unemployment. We are in a
mm,
dangerous zone to the point where the economy will be at an unemployment rate. They're projecting 35 to 40%. That's higher than it was in the 1929 Great Depression. So,
mm,
in order for it to grow, what happens is when you have recession, what happens? Stocks fall all the way down, way below
mhm,
their value. Real estate falls all the way down, way below their value. And what happens? The people that have it, the means, the big investment banks, the big firms, the individuals that have the financial resources, they're
they
buying
buy
these
all that
assets,
up.
they're
Yep.
buying these houses, they're buying these homes in the hood, furthering the gentrification process. They're buying these stocks, they're buying derivatives, they're positioning themselves. So when things return to normal and the government continues to kick out stimulus, through
Uh-huh.
fiscal policy, through the Congress and the president and everything, making certain legislation and bailouts, through monetary policy, the Federal Reserve, quantitative easing, lowering interest rates, that's when they get in position and they're buying. So when things go back to normal, those assets rise. So think
Mm,
about it, they're buying these stocks dirt cheap. They're buying, speculating, buying real estate dirt cheap, buying plots of land, buying even residential homes, commercial properties, all this at a low price. And then in the next 5 or 6 years, they selling it 3, 4, 5 times as much as they paid for it. That is how they continue to build wealth and keep wealth. That is how the system goes. And we as individuals have to financially educate ourselves to understand how this cycle works, save our money, be smart, and invest and engage at the right time, because this will happen again. In the next decade, something like this will happen again.
It's like 2030,
So we all need to take this as a lesson. Take this as a lesson, learn from it, educate ourselves, and be in position for the next time so we can build and take a piece of this pie. That's all. We don't need the whole pie. Just give a brother a piece.
And what's interesting about what he's saying is there's so many like cause and effects, you know, like that's the recurrent theme as far as just life in general. Cause, effect, cause, effect. And for those who's listening, I hope you guys understand that we have a lot of women, you know, who's not in work right now. So they're going to come off nice to you. This is a time as a person who's red pilled, you got to make sure that like you're on point, because you could have chicks coming to you who haven't spoken to you for years because of the turmoil that's going on, just coming to you for desperation. You get what I'm saying? So guys have to make sure that they are also very, very prepared, because I'm telling you, like when times haven't you noticed like women, as far as anti-male propaganda has been absent over the past like 3 weeks? Like haven't anyone noticed that?
Now that you mention it, you're right. I haven't seen too much of that at all, actually. Now that you mention it.
So with that being said, you got chicks that's quiet, who's all of a sudden the feminists just went ghost. You get what I'm saying? The chicks aren't pushing at feminists. I'm seeing girls all of a sudden, oh, I got a relationship. Like this stuff is like a lot of women, they might not know the financial thing to the level of motive power, but they know just enough to be like, because it affects them the most. You get what I'm saying? It affects them the most. Most women are working, so they are affected, and they work in a lot of non-essential jobs. So guys who's actually working right now, you're as a man right now, if you're working or whatnot, if you got some income, your value is at least 3 times more than it was a couple weeks ago. Like your value has like literally skyrocketed right now. So as a person who's high value, you got to make sure that whoever comes in your circumference is like firm. You feel me? You got to make sure, because I'm telling you, like people will do anything when they're desperate. You get what I'm saying? Even dudes. So
yeah,
you just got to make sure.
That's what's interesting what you said, Man Cave. What has happened is everything that's been taught prior to this, say for the past 2 to 3 years, say in the manosphere, has now have to be not only be in theory, it has to be now something that you experience. If you haven't taught, if you have not practiced what's been taught from say multiple content creators, you're going to get to the junction where he says that, and you don't know how to vet a woman correctly, and you're going to make the wrong decision. If you're not paying attention to, if you have not paid attention for these past 3 years, some of the content creators, I say some, have been prophets in the wilderness trying to tell you it's about to rain, but you have not paid attention. Now that it's about to rain, now you want to build a tent. Now you want to build a boat.
And to add on to what you were saying, LDA, a lot of guys, not only they have to do basically what you're saying, but this is a test now for guys, because you got guys that's talking all this MGTOW red pill stuff, and then think about you got 10 desperate hoes. Are they gonna be the same guys that's gonna be like, oh, this is just hypergamy? This is just this is just that?
Nope.
You get what I'm saying? Like you gotta.
They're gonna be like, these chicks love me.
Yeah, and they don't. So guys gotta really, really like don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Like guys are improving their value. Their value is rising, but they also gotta be aware that there's greater dangers at the level you're at right now. Yep, because not only you got to worry about females, but you got to worry about guys that that are desperate to break you down so that they could get all the 10 invisible women that want you all of a sudden. You get what I'm saying?
Not even that, but just on the survival means. Think about it. Unemployment rate, just about 3 to 4 weeks ago, we had the lowest unemployment rate in history. It was below 3.2%, all-time low. Even in the African American unemployment rate was at its all-time low. Think about this: if unemployment were to come from 3.2% and rise to damn near 40%, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be deeper than a woman trying to, it could get to the point where you could meet a pretty woman and she could say, hey, come follow me to my house, run and talk to you for a couple weeks, think you got a good job. And hell, I'm from the streets, man. Have some niggas soldier up, come kick in your door and hit a lick. And the way the game is played now, hell, even if they rob you, you give them everything they want, they'll still kill you. So you got to really think about it. Your life can potentially be in danger, even from home invasions. Even when you're out in public and you're buying your essential supplies, you need to look over your shoulders, keep your head on the swivel. Those of you who are not currently exercising your constitutional right to bear arms, you need to invest in a firearm because this can get really, really ugly. But think about it. Shaniqua got 3 kids. And no dad, no father figure around. She don't got a job. Unemployment rate is high. She can't pay her rent. She can't feed her kids. That will bring out a savage nature in people. And this is beyond the game. This is about survival. Like, for real, man.
Yep.
But times make people do desperate shit. So you got to be ready.
Yep, 100%.
Round
this bitch. Hey, well, if we got any questions in the chat, and then we can answer some questions real quick, and then call. Go ahead.
I just want to say this one thing. A lot of people look at Afi's content, as far as dating coach, traveling and gaming and stuff like that. But if you guys really been paying attention, he's been talking about finesse game. This is the time to use it. You get what I'm saying? Because finesse, you could finesse yourself into saving your own life. You could finesse yourself into saving the lives of your kids or whatnot. There's different ways to use like finesse. You get what I'm saying? And this is the time to like really use it. Like Moto showed example as far as carrying firearms. RPC showed as far as like understanding, yourself and stuff like that. LDA was talking about being grounded and stuff like that in the face of danger and, meditation and all this. So you guys have to use what Afi's teaching you in different areas that don't have nothing to do with females. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's all I got to say.
Good shit, brother. I love what you said right there. Woo. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. Fuck, man. All this whole time digging what you saying.
I just remember myself, man.
Damn, man. I keep the last time I forgot to until the end, man. It's pissing me off.
So like you said, the game is not mitigated to just women. Game is life.
There we go. All right. Too much.
What the hell is that, man?
It's a tiger. It got mind of its own, man. He just started doing shit.
No, it's the Tiger King.
Got your little baby tiger.
Baby tiger.
Yeah. No more Lincoln. He got a baby tiger. The tiger ate Lincoln, man.
This is wild out here, man, because this has never happened in the history of the United States where everything is forced to close down.
Yep.
Especially
sports.
Exactly. And but the consequences of this planned economic shutdown will be catastrophic.
Yep.
And so really, really, really need to be careful because whether the coronavirus, the sickness may not affect people directly, affect a lot of people directly, but other things will. The consequences.
But the economy.
Yes. That was shut down because you're right. Like, think about it. All the strip clubs are shut down. All the bars.
Yo, Vegas is shut down. When I
Vegas
heard Vegas was shut down, I was like, nah, hold on. All them casinos making all that money per day, and you shutting that shit down for, let's say, 2 months? How you making all that money back up? It's a casino. It's Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not the money man. I'm just doing 1 + 1 right there. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But you
That's
know,
all I'm saying.
this is crazy. I mean, it's like so many things can happen. You know, there are several forms of warfare. You know, it could be in the future we could have a major cyber attack that can cause problem because this COVID-19 has been more damaging than a direct hit to a city from a military strike. Because
Yeah,
you think about how the
100%.
economy is suffering tremendously. People are dying at this rate of infection. Say if we have, if it stays at this level with the number of deaths, we got over 10,000 deaths now in the United States. If we just say 2 million people in the United States infected, over 100,000 people would die. That's a lot of people died. 100,000 people, dead bodies. They're saying that they're getting to the point where morgues don't have capacity and they're having to use refrigerated shipping containers to put people's bodies in. So this
Yeah,
shit is
they got trucks, man, at the hospital. They got 18-wheeler trucks at the hospital.
This is
Holding
gonna
dead
sound
bodies,
funny,
man.
but you can't even die right now. You know, you can't even be put in a funeral home, bro.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
sad,
yeah.
and prayers and condolences goes out to the families because they say that they can't even, because of the social distancing and the rate of infection spreading, they can't even gather and have a decent burial for their family members. So,
Yep.
it's a devastating time, but, we all kings. We all got a high level of intestinal fortitude. So we got to keep our minds right and stay focused. I'm sure every last one of us has been through some level of tragedy or a danger in your life, and you managed to overcome that. You got to reflect on those moments that got you to where you are today, and you got to stay focused and keep it pushing no matter what, because we can't allow the things that break us down mentally and allow us to be discouraged and fall into a mindset of disparity.
Hey, speaking of, controlling your emotions, you can act Afi and LDA. I said it in the chat earlier, not earlier today, but earlier that I was in another chat and I was, talking to dudes about the COVID-19. And I was basically saying the same thing I'm saying now, control your emotions, with all this stuff going on TV, you can't believe everything you see. And one of the dudes responded, it's different if it was your grandma. If it was your grandma, you wouldn't be talking like that. I was like, yo, especially if this is my grandma, I need to be talking like that because if it's one of my family members, that's not the time for me to break it down like, oh my God, my grandma got COVID-19. Nah, it's the time for me to be solid and be like, all right, if anything, what type of remedies can I think of for her to be taking right now for her to not, for her to get better from the stuff as opposed to, oh no, since my grandma got it, everybody's gonna get it, we're gonna die. Nah, man. You gotta be solid, man. As a man in your family, when tragedy arises, when pandemics arise, that's when you're supposed to stand up and be solid for your family, man. You're supposed to be that rock that, your family can lean on, man. Not the one just as emotional as your wife, your daughter, your moms, or your grandma, man. Come on.
Exactly.
And to add on to what you're saying, like that's very, I hate talking points like that because it's really ridiculous as if people who look firm in that situation ain't feeling that same emotion either. You get what I'm saying? Just because you're not on the floor crying and screaming and all that
Exactly.
doesn't mean that you're not suffering. You just have to be
Right.
the one firm enough to keep going. Like
Right.
if you look at shows like The Walking Dead, like they see niggas die all the time. You think they would have gotten that far, like in any situation like that, if every single time a person died, they was all, no, you just
right.
can't. You have to survive. You get what I'm saying? So I just hate hearing stuff like that. Another thing too is guys who talk like that, they don't understand that life itself is a battlefield. You get what I'm saying? Life itself is a battlefield. Like you're just, and even though life itself is a battlefield, what we're seeing now is most men aren't soldiers. You get what I'm
Nope.
saying?
Nope.
Even though life's a
Civilian.
battlefield, you know? So
Yeah,
you
I
just
agree.
have to be firm as far as like knowing that you're gonna get through it. Cause a lot of guys, I be seeing them, and then these people, they talk all this, man, I got belief in whatever and whatever. But now's the time to really implement that belief. Now's the time to really put your faith up. You get what I'm saying? But I'm now seeing like guys don't have strong enough faith when things get shaky. But the point of shaky times is so it can amplify your faith. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's interesting to say that, is because it's during that times where your back is against the wall that many times you come the most productive, the most creative, the most, you find a whole another dimension of who you are when your back is up against the wall. So a lot of people's back are going to be against the wall. Either they're going to take it or they're going to stand up and actually excel to the next level, because there is a next level past this. As Moto was saying, is it's going to happen in maybe another 10 years or whatever because of the market cycle. But what like you guys are saying, it's revealing what you are really made out of. What are you really made out of? It's no matter. None of us want anybody to be a clone of us, but you need to be the best version of the man you need to be at, or you need to be digging deep in book studying. You need to come out of this like Superman and not like a weakling after this situation.
I agree. You're talking about we in the
Right.
quarantine and coronavirus and all that. People need to take the time, whether even if it's not getting that physical fitness up, which I definitely advocate, with at least the calisthenics, with the pull-ups and push-ups. Besides that, like LDA mentioned earlier, dudes could be picking up on their knowledge. One of the things I was saying earlier in my consultation, for you dudes still concerned about, chicks, even though we're in quarantine and all that, what I was mentioning is, you could gain that knowledge, because pretty much that's what mouthpiece is knowledge, knowledge backed by confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because if you could talk to a person or even a chick about a particular subject that you're knowledgeable on and you're confident in, just that alone, whether she's interested in the topic or not, she's gonna be feeling the energy of your confidence just because you're knowledgeable on it. So now's the time to, if you want to read up on something, research up on things, that's what you guys should be doing, man. If you're not physically making yourself better, you should also be making your mental better too, man. With the meditation, with the sleeping, but also with adding knowledge, or what I like to call adding wrinkles to your brain, man.
And that's one thing that, to further add to Red Pill Chauvinist comment about adding knowledge. When you're a knowledgeable person and you're an intellectual person and a highly intelligent individual, you will weed out a lot of people, because the people, some women will be intimidated by your intellect, and you will quickly weed
They don't
them.
understand that.
And that's the indication that woman is not on the same frequency level as you. So she's not meant to be in your circle. It doesn't mean that she's a bad person or a bad woman. You are just not psychologically and mentally equally yoked with her as an individual. Simple as that. So you elevating yourself will weed a lot of the bullshit out of your life. Period. So that was an excellent point by RPC.
Yep. I literally had a chick tell me when I said something, she'd be like, well, maybe, no, she said something to me. And I was like, I responded. She's like, well, maybe you don't understand because I'm not as smart as you. I'm looking like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean, yo? But I get it. Like, just like Moto said. Go ahead.
That's the clue. And as a result of that, you know who you are.
Yes,
you
sir.
know who you are. And if a woman, I don't care if that motherfucker's the finest thing in the world, keep it moving. Don't be disrespectful to her. Just keep it moving. Hell, you got to understand, man, women are a dime a dozen in this world. And if and there are women out there who appreciate a man that is an intellectual, that will submit to a man that is an intellectual, that has his head on straight, that's out here making moves and trying to progress in life to the next level and take himself to the next level. The right woman will fall in line with that. The wrong woman will be repelled by that.
Will be intimidated by it.
But that's good though. That's really a blessing. Because intelligence is a form of ratchet repellent.
100%.
I'm gonna repeat that again. Intelligence is a form of ratchet repellent. Man, that shit is like raid to a cockroach.
Yep.
And now like nowadays with you seeing guys panic and worry, it's exposing women's dating strategies too, because they're not choosing guys based off their strength. They're just choosing them by how easily they can manipulate those guys.
Yeah, these blue pill simps are definitely getting a run for their money nowadays, man. They definitely getting hit up. The only difference is they're not even not even taking these chicks out to dinner because they can't. Now they're just straight up just cash apping them. That's why what's going to switch up after all this too is that dudes are going to be even more accustomed to just cash apping some of these chicks, man. It's about to be let's not forget that it's about to be sad, man.
I think a lot of them are going to start to come over into the red pill because it's going to get so bad for them. Like, you know what? I don't have to do all this to get that. Then why am I doing this song and dance if I can just be me and she'll come to me? Because it's going to switch. The market is flooded. I mean, and we look at it in the sense of what Amoto presented about the market. The market is flooded with what's that site? OnlyFans and everything like that.
OnlyFans, yeah.
So the market's going to be flooded. So if the market's flooded, I can be corrected. That means the price is going to go down.
Yes, sir.
So that means the price of the P sleeve, as Coach Adams would say,
Greg Adams, right?
Greg guy would say, it's going to go completely. It's going to plummet. So they're going to do everything they can to try to get back into position. When they realize they're dealing with men who are not going to take that from them, they're going to readjust, humble themselves, and say, hey, what do I need to do to build your team? That's when you need to have your teaching instructions already set. This is how you function in my world. Either she's with it or she ain't.
Yeah, but you're right. As far as the OnlyFans thing, because it's gonna crash soon. They said OnlyFans, I think just this month alone had an increase of 75% of new people making accounts, and most of them are females. So with that being said, it's gonna crash because you think about it like this: if most guys aren't working, who's gonna pay OnlyFans?
Exactly, man. If unemployment rate think about that shit. If unemployment rate a few weeks ago was 3.2%, if that shit climbs, the projections are 35 to 40%. A lot of the men ain't gonna pay. It's gonna be bad, man. A lot of those women who are trying to use. I was watching the movie Players Club the other day because I've been bored at the house. And one thing that one of the Lisa Ray's cousins said in the movie was they have to use what they got to get what they want. That's not gonna work no more.
There you go.
If the unemployment rate is high.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. It's gonna be bad out here.
And another thing too, like you're gonna have dudes, because I mean, let's be honest, a lot of guys are simps. So even though Greece is going through an economic downturn, what chicks are doing, they're selling pussy at like cheap levels, like the equivalent of like $10 US. Like it's small, bro.
The price went down.
So it's like why would I pay money to beat off to a chick that I'm imagining when I could get that same from my own hometown? Because pussy is just
back in the day, the price of pussy used to be like $40 a nut. And now it's bringing it back down to the fair value.
My man said the fair value.
The fair value, man, because simps have inflated the price of pussy.
Yeah.
And me living in Atlanta, Georgia, man, this is like the simp nigga capital of the world. These niggas go to Magic City and Penance and Blue Flame and the Follies and throw their whole goddamn life savings at these hoes for nothing in return.
I understand that.
I mean, this is simp capital USA.
True. It is. It is. Say that again. Mike. Going into
his stuff sound pretty choppy.
You in robot mode.
Oh shit. You hear me now? Am I good?
Yeah, you good.
Am I good? Yeah. I were to go down there, you know, and he's basically they be telling me so easy down there.
You went into robot mode.
You know what's crazy? Like this stuff is even written in the Bible. Like it was saying in I think Isaiah 4th chapter, where times will get so bad that 6 or 7 women will run to one man saying, "Please, can we?" You know. So we're gonna hit that. That's another reason why I brought up my point earlier. Like women are gonna start coming to guys who basically the few guys are capable, because it's also prophecy too. You get what I'm saying? This chick could have slept with 400 guys. She's like, man, I'll cook, I'll clean, I'll do all this crap just so, I can have a roof over my head. So this stuff is not only, like Moto was saying, financial, but it's also biblical too. And that's something we should expect.
Mosman said, Mo was right. I went to the Blue Flame for a friend's birthday. I went to the back, watched Sports Center on the flat screen, and stared through the strippers. Yeah, man. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Mosman.
But in Atlanta, man, the simping is so hard here. You have DJs in these strip clubs that will talk shit about people standing around. Somebody could be eating the food and the rest or just chilling or just at the bar. And they have DJs that will talk shit about random people. LDA know exactly what I'm talking about. Will talk shit about random people that are not simping and tricking off on these hoes.
Yep.
Hey, yo, quick, my check 1 2 1 2.
Yeah.
Still underwater, or I'm good?
You good?
Good.
No doubt, no doubt.
You're definitely right, Moto. What they do is because my friend is a DJ in Jersey for a strip club, so they in cahoots with the stripper to get the money because he's going to get a cut whatever she's making from stripping. It's all a hustle.
Yep.
And if you don't,
Basically, always been a hustle.
if you don't get it, that's why I don't. To me, strip clubs is always. I went to one strip club in Atlanta, and that was Gold Rush. That was it. Gold Rush. They was butt naked. It was nice. Okay, I don't want to see nothing else. I'm good. My point is, it didn't make sense to go there when I can get that for free and get breakfast in the morning.
Exactly, man. The women in Atlanta, Georgia, are thirsty like no other. I mean, you can be with another woman, and they will try to get. They don't give a fuck. You could be married and be with your wife and kids, and you will have women that will try to holler at you right in front. They don't get these women in Atlanta are like super thirsty and shark like. Hell of a
Wow.
That's so true, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I was with my mentor, spiritual mentor, preacher, a bishop. Walking through Lenox, he said, "Brother, y'all need to take me out of here right now." I said, "What's wrong, Bishop?" "Do you see what I see?" I said, "I see. I got to get you out of here because with so many beautiful women, shapely, with money, and willing to do anything that you want to do, educated." So it's definitely you right on the money, Moto.
I got a question for Moto. So you were saying, as far as the thirstiness, is it worse for people that's like let's say you was from another part of the U.S. and then you came to ATL? You think because you're foreign per se that the thirstiness is even amplified?
But one thing about it in Atlanta, you can get, everything is a drug. Like you got alcoholism. It could be people have addictions with substance abuse. You can become a sex addict out here because you can literally get to the point where you would have to turn women down here because you can't fuck everybody, and you can't fuck every night because you got to be responsible. If you're trying to make moves, you got to say, nah, I got to get up. I got a meeting in the morning. I have to work. I got business I'm trying to take care of. It is literally to the point where you can literally wear yourself the fuck out. For real.
Yes.
You can literally wear you have to pace yourself down here. It's that bad.
It's like the song. People thought he was just making a rhyme. Like Ludacris says, I got hoes in different area codes. It's different area codes down in Atlanta. It is a fact. You can have them one up in Marietta, one in Jonesboro, one over in Decatur, one over there in Smyrna, and they they never interact with each other because it's all in a circumference of Atlanta.
But some of them will know about each other though, and they still won't care.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you could literally have a polyamorous type situation where you got multiple girlfriends, and they'll be cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
For real, because it's masculine. One thing too, masculine energy is lacking here. Like for real, a man that's real. Women, they see a masculine man, they gravitate towards that shit. It's something they just can't help it. They just stare you down like a hawk. You know what I'm saying? So women love it's a severe lack of masculine energy in the city of Atlanta.
True. That's very true. Very true.
And your red pill, that's like a just the energy that's oozing off of you is like catnip to them broads, man.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Especially if you focus and you about your business. Hey, the more you know them, the more they gonna want you. You could be to a spot, you can go to a lounge or something, just chill, just sit back, post up, and they'll come to you.
You ever been to the Leper Lounge?
You said what lounge?
The Leper Lounge.
Leper? Nah, I gotta check that spot out.
No, I don't know if it's still there. That was years ago when I was there. It's called the Leper Lounge down there.
Hey Mose, when you like that review, I see you posting it. I just put that up. That's my man right there. He posting the new drop. That's what's up. Appreciate it. I didn't even ask him to do it. I love it. Hey, it's hitting that hour and a half, man. Y'all got some last words? Shout out to my man RPC. He just logged off, but y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the Red Pill Jehovah's channel. Who you pointing to?
You. I got pointing the wrong way. Still doing something. This is how to do it Hollywood Squares.
Oh, boom. Oh yeah, you can direct it. Go.
You do Hollywood Squares. Go ahead, but what wrong way?
All right, so now, make sure y'all leave a comment too when the drop is over.
Yes, and y'all need to hit that. Y'all need to hit that PayPal and Cash App. That Alfie PayPal and Cash App. To show your appreciation for what's being shared tonight. Hit that PayPal and hit that Cash App.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Lawrence. Since you're directing it, so I said my shit. Pointed. Are you putting diagonal or down?
All right. Oh, the Hollywood Squares. All
right, man. Cave, it's on you.
Yeah. I definitely appreciate, being on here. Moto, RPC, LDA, all dropping gems, even Offie. Even for a drop that's just an hour and 30 minutes, man, like it's a lot of it's so dense in information. And it's not like we're awkward about it. It's just flowing. Like it's like if we had that Jada Pinkett talk show, like how just things is just smoothly like flowing. Like I think the thing that makes your drops more special than everyone else is we're just more relaxed and we're just having a conversation. Like these are conversations that you could see us. So, like let's say you're having a cookout or something like that and it's, getting late and then, we're having some beers and stuff like that. So I definitely appreciate, being on and, I hope we do some more drops together.
Good, man. Yeah, shit. That's one of my favorite ones I ever did with me, you, and RPC. That was flames. That was a good one. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Man Cave Vlogging channel. He got a channel, so y'all make sure you subscribe to it. Subscribe to Lawrence D. Adams. Subscribe to Moto Power. You got to do diagonal. There you go. You had it. There you go. Subscribe to Moto Power right there. And subscribe to King Zaggin also. He was here earlier. Make sure y'all subscribe to King Zaggin and pledge to the Patreon. Moto Power, last words?
Yeah, man. Y'all stay up, man. Keep it 100. Use this time to self-reflect, meditate, strategize, read, and relax and prepare. We don't know how long this is going to last, but take something from this, learn from it, and be prepared for the future, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Good. Round this bitch. All right, so, man, we're going to call it a night. I'm going to let this song go. If you're a moderator, I appreciate it if y'all put my man RPC, K-Zag, and Man Cave, and Moto Powers in the chat while the song rides out. And we call it a night. Make sure y'all drop a comment. We are the prize. Or whatever the hell y'all want to say, but do it. So you knew you was coming. You seen it going. All right. Left it on you, though. Bono, you ain't going to come out. You ain't going to groove on the end. You ain't going to cam up on the end. Yeah. Shout out to Nelly Nell. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you putting them links in. And just appreciate you, period. Appreciate you too, Alina, Principal Bay. You know what I'm saying? Mosman, salute to you. Razcast. True Savage. Superman. Ted. Fred. And the Secret Watchers. Haters Gonna Suffer. Man in Action. G. Millie. Principal Bay.
Yeah, I'm about to sing something.
So righteous. This is also true.